Come in, my child. We mustn't lurk in doorways. It's rude.
One might question your upbringing. There's a little bit of business which we wrote down here, which we should include up here, which is...
I had wanted all my life to work in a Disney film.
So I wanted to put a chuckle over, sort of one of your low chuckles, over that move to the vanity.
And when I was called by the agent to say, would you like to audition for a Disney film? I said, oh my Lord, that's an answer to prayer. Of course I would. We mustn't lurk in doorways. It's rude.
One might question your upbringing.
A vicious sea witch, Ursula's primary goal is to seize power of Atlantica from King Triton, which she attempts to achieve by tricking Triton's youngest daughter, Princess Ariel, into signing a contract that will leave her a mute human. There's no limit to how low Ursula will stoop to achieve her goal, as she goes so far as to disguise herself as a human in an effort at preventing Prince Eric from kissing the title character, which would, of course, break the curse. In the film's final moments, Ursula grows to enormous heights and attempts to create a deadly storm in the water, which would have killed all the main characters and scores of innocent bystanders. Pretty nasty. Despite her backstory being mostly a mystery for most of the film, her character just oozes with charisma, and that's one of the many reasons why I always loved her as a character. Plus, just her, despite her jiggly physics and stuff like that, she has a cool design. She also just knows how to manipulate people just to get what she wants. She knows how to ooze her way into a deal. Unlike many Disney villains whom care very little for their henchmen, Ursula puts Flotsam and Jetsam before everything and everyone else. Ursula treats the eels like children and refers to them as babies or poopsies. As a kid, I always thought the scene when she transforms into a giant was scary but really cool. Her death scene is one of the most brutal we've ever witnessed in a Disney film. And in the words of her estranged sister, and who could ever forget her iconic song, Poor Unfortunate Souls, which aside from maybe Kiss the Girl, might be my favorite song in the Little Mermaid movie. Frollo is hands down the creepiest out of all the Disney villains. With a deep voice and a sinister personality, Frollo is that creepy guy you never want to sit next to in a bus. The sad part is that there are some priests in history that came close to Frollo, but he was the worst of them all. He condemns poor Quasimodo to live in the Tower of Notre Dame Cathedral and tells him no one will care for him due to his deformity. On top of that, he tries to burn a house down in his relentless purge of the gypsies, and he's ridiculously obsessed with poor Esmeralda. Frollo's song Hellfire is a spine-tingling number about how Frollo is so torn between his unholy desire for Esmeralda and his fanatical devotion to the church. He's perhaps the most scariest because he's a believable figure of the church and not a witch or a talking animal. Frollo is such an effective villain because his character and his motives are so eerily rooted in reality. Disney villains are often cited for their flamboyancy and outrageous mustachio curling supervillain qualities. Frollo is a glaring exception. He's almost the polar opposite. The concept of such a self-righteous man who is so convinced that he's doing the right thing that it ultimately corrupts him has been and unfortunately continues to be a reality in our own human history. That possibility of Frollo's character makes him that much more convincing, that much more menacing a villain than possibly any other Disney villain yet created. I'm so glad he got his comeuppance, because we all know he would have hunted Quasimodo, Esmeralda, and Phoebus to the ground if he had lived.
And he shall smite the wicked and plunge them into the fiery pit.
Is this kid gonna mess up my hostile takeover bid or what? What do you think?
James Woods plays Hades.
Name is Hades, Lord of the Dead. Hi, how you doing?
How are things in the underworld?
Well, they're just fine. You know, a little dark, a little gloomy, and as always, hey, full of dead people. What are you gonna do?
James Woods has a real unique view of the character. He does that fast-talking car salesman, con artist kind of thing.
Tell me in a second, but I'm a fast talker, all right? See, I've got this major deal in the works, a real estate venture, if you will. And Herc, you seem to be constantly getting in the way of it. He's a schmoozer. He's got to schmooze a little bit. Hi, how you doing? Looking good. Nice dress. You auditioned for being in these movies. I guess everybody came in going, hello, I'm Hades. And I came in going, hey, Hades, how you doing? Nice to see you. Nice face. Yeah. I wish you could see yourself. You look fabulous. Did you cut your hair or something? You look like a fate worse than death. You, of course, can't see yourself because you don't have eyes. You have this kind of insane, loopy, kind of off-the-hip stuff. The funnier it became to us. Ah, you have the voice of a siren. All you need now is a 4-alarm fire. I have my own animator and his army, creating me.
Personality-wise, he's very appealing. To me, that's sort of what, the worst type of evil is like. It's a type that draws you in.
We dance, we kiss, we schmooze, we carry on, we go home happy. What do you say? Come on.
It's not a list of all-time memorable villains without a place for the god of the underworld, as Hades, voiced by James Woods, is portrayed as a power-hungry tyrant who is willing to do whatever it takes to snatch power of Mount Olympus away from his brother Zeus. While he is indeed evil, he's also, in my opinion, the funniest character out of Disney's rogues gallery, along with his nefarious sidekicks, Pain and Panic. Hades conspires to accomplish his feat by murdering Zeus's son, Hercules. Well, at least attempting to, anyways. Extra points for Woods' enjoyable, energetic performance. In fact, every time Hades, no matter if it's another TV animated series or a cartoon or a video game or even the Disney parks, Hades is always voiced by James Woods. James Woods always comes back because obviously he enjoys doing it, and we enjoy hearing him reprise his role each time. He's just so fucking great at it, man. He's basically like the equivalent of Robin Williams with the genie, man. They're so essential to each other. You can't have Hades without James Wood, just like you can't have Genie without Robin Williams. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. Hades' determination to kill Hercules manifests itself into plenty of ways, and although it's not explicitly stated, Hades would have certainly killed his nemesis while he was still an infant, had his plan worked out. He sometimes seemed more like a deranged car dealer than a Greek god. However, his willingness to blackmail Hercules with the soul of his loved ones revealed him as one of the more twisted Disney villains.
So maybe you could put in a word with him and you'd kind of blow this whole thing off, you know? Meg, talk to him. You know, schmooze. Get away from me! Don't touch me! Get your slimy souls off me! He's not gonna be happy when he gets out of there!
You mean if he gets out of there? If is good.
I don't feel so good. I feel a little...
Generally, villains need power to make their punch effective. Often they'll be physically imposing. But Randall Boggs, the second most successful scarer in Metropolis, more the slight and sleazy type, which seems entirely appropriate since he's voiced by Steve Buscemi. I can't pronounce that last name, but anyways, a master of slight and sleazy characters in film. But this weasel does have a power, and a very cool one at that. He can become invisible at any time, as he rapidly adapts to his surroundings to make him a presence, make him a presence felt, not seen. This proves useful in his shady efforts to invent Monsters Incorporated and make him a threatening nemesis to our likable heroes Sully, Mike, and Boo. Except for in Monsters in the University movie.